Yes, yes, yes. It's Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. Are we live yet? Waiting for the ping. Where's the ping? OMG, can't hear the ping. So don't know if we are officially live yet. OMG. OMG. Okay, so hello and welcome. Okay, now we are live. Okay, hello and welcome to the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. And what's the name of the show? Well, it's the original wrap-up show. You know, we don't wrap up nor skin up. It's the original wrap-up show. And we've had a nice weekend of fights. So we got plenty to talk about. A couple of football items also. Although I haven't watched the football this weekend at all. So we're gonna have to catch up with that. Little briefing, which you're gonna go into. But no momento, mommy, slow your tempo. What am I looking for here? What is it that I want to share? Hold on. Let's share this. What the hell's that? Have I just copied that? I'm using a different system today. Oh, there's the chat. Yes. Marveloso. Okay, different system today. The Leon Figures is in. Marveloso. Baboon Boxing is in. Marveloso. And the link is in. How's that sound there? I'm using a different system. It's not my usual system. This is my fallback system. You know what I'm saying? You always need a fallback system. So I'm using my fallback system today. So you must forgive me if my touch is not as deft as usual. You gotta keep it versatile. Gotta keep things versatile. First things first. Hold on. What was I gonna say? Oh, of course, we're looking at the Zach Parker versus John Ryder fight. Interesting outcome. We're looking at the Prograis v Zapida with a Z. Interesting fight. We're looking at the Nathan Gorman versus Fabio Wardley. Is it Fabian? It's Fabian Wardley. And of course, we're looking at the controversial Dillian Whyte versus Franklin. What's his first name? I can't remember. Whyte v. Franklin. Was that a robbery? Was it robbery? Okay, so we're getting into all of that and a little bit more. But first things first, why am I shouting? There's a microphone here. Why am I shouting? First things first, let's do a sound check.
The airship.
Oh, damn it. Yes. Peace, Mr. Dawkins and chat. I'll be hitting that link to join the panel. Marveloso. Let me have a look. Let me have a listen. Uh-oh, what's this here? Oh, okay. Let's have a listen. Stop the music. Okay. Let me take it back a little bit. There's a microphone here. That a robbery? Was that a robbery? Was it robbery? It's robbery. Okay, that's good. I like the volumes. I like the levels. a good session is in session. Okay, but the screen looks a little bare. What can the Rafi do to brighten the screen up just a little bit? Just a little bit. What happens if I do that? What happens if I do that? Or do that? Okay, let's do that. Then let me refamiliarize myself. Let me refamiliarize myself with this thing. So if I do that, what happens? Okay, we're sharing. Okay. So let me just have a little looky. Let's refamiliarize ourselves. Okay, that's interesting. So that is the same as that. What about that? Okay. What about if I do this? Switch them around. And what about if I do this? OMG. OMG. Okay, looks a little dark. Looks a little dark, but acceptable. Acceptable. Why is this? Straighten this out. Okay. Okay. Hello and welcome everybody. Where are we going to start? Let's have a look. Okay. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button. What's going on here? There's some comments that I haven't seen. Comments are at the top. Oh, I can't see them. This is the weirdness of this. Where's that? There's a bunch of comments up top that I can't see with this system. But I'll read them out anyway. Devastating display by Dillian, dominating with the jab and the foot movement. So says Dilly and nobody else. OMG. That comes from Baboon Boxing. Okay. Howdy TT Alias up in the building. Not that sure he was quite that expressive with the analysis of his performance. Only worked 7 weeks with Buddy. Okay. Baboon Boxing comes back with how long have we been going? 7 minutes, long time. It was bloody awful. Buddy was telling him to jab. He didn't. Not sure why Buddy was wanting body work all the time, as it had zero effect. Well, hold on, you're saying Buddy told him to jab and he didn't. But then you said that Buddy also asked him to do the body work, but he was going to the body. So he was following instructions. Was he following instructions or was he not? I mean, according to him, he was following instructions. He said the body was telling him to go down to the body. And he was going down to the body. I don't know. I had the volume down low. Because obviously I was commentating. So I couldn't hear. What the hell was that? I couldn't hear what Buddy was telling him. So, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. What? A lot of things going on up in here. Okay. So, where's this? There we are. Marveloso. Okay. So, where are we going to start? Let's get into this thing. Where are we going to start? Okay. Let's bring this over like so. I'm not going to start there though. I don't know. I'm going to do. I want to start there. Okay, I know where I'm going to start. This is where I'm going to start. Okay, let's stop sharing that. Start sharing this, like so. No. No. Okay, maybe. Maybe. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Okay, let's do it that way. Okay. Hold on. Am I showing that? Is that being highlighted? Okay, there you go. There you go. You would hardly know Fury's defending this weekend. What a superstar. It's atrocious. It's atrocious. It's atrocious. Fight Doctor up in the building. Wizard Sleeves up in the building. Okay, so this is where I'm going to start. Hello and welcome. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button. Okay, this is where we start. Okay, so Regis Prograis beats Jose Zepeda in the 11th round, knocks him out to claim the the interim WBC 140-pound title. Where's the article? Where's the article? There it is. There it is. There it is. Let's open it up. Let's open it up. Okay. Carson, California. I was on Fight TV, Fight Promoter. Eleventh round stoppage KO for the vacant WBC Super Lightweight title. WBC Super Lightweight. That's the 140-pound strap. Vacated by Scotland's own Josh Taylor. Because he was tied up. He said he's tied up with the wedding. He had a wedding, married his missus. This and that. And he wanted to fight Catterall. So I think he's given up a couple of his titles. They're taken, whatever. He's given them up because he's fighting Catterall. You remember, Catterall's the guy who many believe, many myself included, believe beat Josh Taylor. And that put a dent in the cocky jock, the cocky Scotsman. Put a hell of a dent in his pride because he was supposed to be head and shoulders above Jack Catterall. But a lot of people some people didn't even bother to film that. Didn't even bother going live to cover that show because they thought Jack Catterall was just an also-ran. But the Rafi felt different. The Rafi felt something in his water. And I believe that Jack Catterall could pull an upset. So whilst many ignored the fight, I went live. And what a hell, how glad am I that I went live. It was one hell of a fight, one hell of a fight. And I was glad I covered it. I was kicking myself that I didn't put money on it, but then the results came back, and they announced that Josh Taylor was still champion. Much to my surprise, much to many people's surprise, who thought that Jack Catterall was the new super lightweight, undisputed super lightweight champion of the world. To our surprise and horror, shock and horror, that was not the case. And Josh Taylor was still the belt holder. Much to my surprise. Where are we here? Okay, who do we have here? And it is the Leon Figures. Leon Figures, how do you do?
You good?
I'm good, my friend. I'm good.
And blessings.
100% to you. That picture there had me fooled because I thought it was the video. I thought the picture was the video, but you're not moving. So that's when I realized it's actually a picture, not actually the moving image of you. So you kind of
I don't know what I've done wrong.
You tricked the Rafi with that one. No, this is a different system. This isn't the StreamYard, so it's slightly different.
I thought I'd be on camera today, and it seems to have just taken a picture. I don't know.
It's cool. I could be on camera, but it looks kind of. I actually don't look too bad. Me being on camera.
So you can do. I mean, I'm doing it from my phone. I don't know.
No, I mean, if you go in your phone, if you go in the hold on a second. I did see somewhere where it says I could send participants instructions. Hold on a second. Settings. No, I don't want to do that. Excuse me. I don't want to do participants. Automatically share screen. Show graphics. Show participants' names. So it will be in your settings. But yeah, this system's slightly different. But anyway, we will continue. Where are we? We're talking about Zapida. And Regis Progress. Okay, so what's going on? Yeah, so Regis Progress. What are you saying?
I was just saying. Sorry, I was listening to commentary on that fight.
Yeah,
and Nick couldn't actually see it, but it sounded good.
What do I feel about this fight? What am I seeing? What am I seeing on my screen? Oh, seeing like somebody else is chatting other than me on my screen. Like, oh, what did I just see there?
We can all see that. Yeah, same.
Say again?
Yeah, we can all see that. Yeah, it's
no, but
by the
yeah, some weirdness. I don't know. What the hell was that? That was kind of weird. Anyway, well. I mean, can I show a little bit of the action? Let me look for it. Let me look for. I'll give you up here. I'll give you a little snippet. I'll give you a safe little snippet. Let's have a look. Oh, is that it? No. Is that it? No. Is that it? What the hell is it? No. Oh, maybe they've removed it. Maybe they've taken it down because it didn't come from this video, was not from an official source. Oh yeah, that's what they've done. That's exactly what they've done. They've took it down. They've took down the video. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. My views on the fight. Messy. What's your background noise there, Leon? What's your background noise?
Sorry.
It's okay. I think that on my views on the fight was it was messy. It was messy. The action was messy. There was a lot of smothered work going on. Yes, Regis Progress was the rightful winner. Yes. But I hate to rain on somebody's parade, but I think that the Josh Taylor Regis Progress versus Josh Taylor, it was a close fight, yes. But my problem with Regis Progress is that it's hard for me to put my finger on it, and it is, but it's almost as if his work is, what's the word I'm looking for? Clearly, he's an advanced boxer because it's the second time he's been world champion. So he's clearly an advanced boxer, but his work, sometimes it seems kind of messy. That's the word. It's unruly. But yet, he's effective because he's hitting the other guy more than he's being hit. But
he kind of blends a bit of street thuggish fighting with pure. When you say messy, I mean it's a bit.
It's untidy.
Dirty.
No, not dirty. Just untidy. His work is untidy. Now, my top two favorite boxers are Muhammad Ali and Marvin Hagler. Now, Ali was quite tidy. Now, yes, he did hold people at the back of the head and pull their heads down and give them a couple of little uppercuts, sharp few uppercuts, and then turn them. Yeah, he did do that. But then he'd let them go and then give them a couple of slapping jabs to go on their way. Yeah, that's fine. But there was a certain order. There was an order to his work. Now, let's look at Marvin Hagler. Different style altogether. He's a workman style. But it was very ordered. His movement was very ordered. His jab was very disciplined. There was an order. There was an order to his work. There was an order. There was a discipline, clear discipline. He looked disciplined. Whereas with Regis Prograis, he's clearly an elite boxer, but his style is messy. It's messy. They're falling into each other. They're twizzling each other around. He's falling into shots and gliding off. It seems almost like unruly hair. His style is like frizzy hair. I think that's the best way I can put it.
Okay.
Clearly he's elite, but the style is somehow aesthetically, his style, for me, aesthetically looking at it, it doesn't fill me with pleasure. I'm not overwhelmed with pleasure looking at Progray's style. Wizard sleeves. Dell will win on Saturday, and I'm being discharged on Sunday. Great weekend, but discharged from where? Are you in a psychiatric facility, Wizard sleeves?
I mean, that would be that is something I've been struggling to think of a way Chisora can win.
I'd be struggling as well. That's why I'm asking Wizard sleeves if he's saying he's going to be discharged. I'm asking him if he's in a psychiatric facility at the moment.
It might just be wishful thinking.
But even talking like this makes me wonder about the psychiatric element of things. Alias Audi TT, Audi alias TT up in the building. Good evening, Mr. Dawkins. Late show. Is it late? Are we late? Is it late? Lightweight? No, he's heavyweight. Not smooth on the eye at all. It's not smooth on the eye. It's jarring. It's quite jarring for the Rafi. For the Rafi's sensibilities. Not else.
getting his excuses ready in case he loses by making a point of Devin Hayes big for lightweight.
Say that again?
Do you think Lomachenko was kind of getting excuses in but how Devin Haney is big for lightweight?
Yeah, I do. I do. I mean, we already know he's big for lightweight. This is not lightweight. This is heavyweight.
He's not exactly heavyweight, is he? Yeah, all right. He boils down to get to lightweight, but boxing, I don't know. I don't hear much of his interviews to know whether that's something he usually does. He always struck me as somebody that's seems able to beat people even if they are bigger than him.
Yeah.
But this seems like the first time he's maybe put it out there that somebody's bigger than him and use that as a possible future use. Maybe he's cycling himself up. Maybe he's having to think that this guy's big and in my A game. But yeah, it just wasn't the confidence style Chenko. I thought somebody like him and Usyk, I would have just what they always thought they could beat anybody.
Yeah. So when he said that, I was like, interesting. What's the beef, Mr. Dawkins? Who's in the nut house? It's the Wizard sleeves. He just said he's going to be discharged on Sunday. The fight's on Saturday. He's getting discharged on Sunday. That's what he told me. So I deduced, and he said that Derek Chisora is going to win. So I correctly deduced that he's in a psychiatric evaluation center. Yeah, that was a good deduction on my part. Of course, we're all jesting. I trust that Wizard Sleeves is indeed not in a psychiatric center, and he's just at home.
Maybe he meant discharge from the pub. He's been drinking a bit. If he thinks that from the pub, he's been drinking a bit. Maybe that's why he thinks that Chisora is going to beat
Yeah, your mic is a bit chippy. I don't know why. Maybe it's the system. Maybe it's this system. It makes your mic sound a little bit chippy. Um,
What I can do is try and log back in off of the laptop.
no, you weren't chippy then.
Okay.
It was very clear then. So you're doing something different now than you was doing before.
To the phone. That's all.
Uh-oh.
She just wants to pick up a plate.
What the hell? Easy does it. Oh, what the hell's going on here? They're all crazy. OMG. Some of these social media gals, they really are the limit. They really are the limit. What the hell's going on here? Okay. What's going on? I think I just heard. Oh, what the hell's going on? Dang, was it two time? Okay, boom and boom. Dang, we got a full house. Today. First in comes the man we haven't seen him, haven't heard from him in a couple of weeks, and he goes by the name Harp. As a matter of fact, rat-tat-tat-tat. Let me stop sharing that and let him introduce himself.
Yo, Fight Doctor's in the house on Rick James status. As always. What's going on, gentlemen?
Peace and blessings.
Fight Doctor up in
Peace and blessings, brother.
Peace and blessings. Fight Doctor up in the area. And before we talk to the Fight Doctor, let us introduce the fourth member of the panel, our man from the Caribbean. Let him introduce himself. Come on in.
Yeah, peace and power to everybody, man. What's up, Leon Figures, the great figures,
Respect.
Doctor, my brethren, and Mr. Dawkins at Dawkins Towers, luxurious Dawkins Towers.
How you doing, man? Conks, good to have you up in here.
Why are you wearing a hoodie? Is it cold? What's happening?
It's cold. And plus the hoodies are my uniform now.
Okay.
However, I might change up the uniform for Wednesday's show because we're having a special guest on Wednesday.
Oh.
Let's have a little fun quiz. You, the audience, are included. All panelists are included. The initials are SF.
No, I don't know who the hell that could be. I mean, are we talking? I mean, can you give us a hint as to the profession?
Well, it's a boxing. It's in the boxing realm. It's in the boxing sphere. So we're having a boxing guest. Used to be a boxer. Oh, clue. Give you a clue. He used to be a boxer. He ain't a boxer. He used to box. He's retired. The initial is SF. Wizard sleeves is
Henry Akinwande.
Sorry?
Henry Akinwande.
No, that's H. That's HA. That's HA. The initial is SF. Sarah Ferguson. Oh, Ginger Sarah. There's something about Ginger Sarah back in the day, you know, with a big bumper.
Yeah, you wanted to sling one up.
I'd slingshot that back in the day. I'd have slingshot that back in the day. She looks worse than her age these days, but back in the day, when she used to have them thighs look like two big hams.
Would have liked
Two big
that's a bit
hams.
of Birmingham chocolate.
Sorry?
I bet she would have liked a bit of.
Yeah. What do you mean? How you mean? I heard that Princess Princess Margaret when she was over there in Mystique. Remember when she used to go to Mystique? She was playing with the Brown boys over there. Princess Margaret back in the day. Her and Sarah Hodge over there. She used to holiday in Mystique. She was playing with the Brown Beach boys over there. Princess Margaret. Of course.
Well, wasn't she, Margaret?
Say again?
Margaret
Princess.
always was a bit of a rebel.
Yeah, man. She's a rebel. She's a rebel. She's a rebel. But SF, come on, people. People in the chat. How much people got in the chat? This is a weird system I'm using. It's not my usual system. So I'm having to do more work to see what is going on. Okay, there's enough people in the chat. Come on. The guest is, I'm going to have to write this in.
Give us a weight class as well then. Give us a weight class.
I think it's middle and under. SF is the initial. SF. Hold on, let me get this right. Yeah, S space F is the initial of Wednesday's guest.
If this is a Brit, then I have no idea who you're talking about.
Yes, it is a Brit.
Okay, well, I out.
Yeah, it is a black Brit. With the initial as of SF. Okay, I'm gonna give you some more clues. I'm gonna keep on giving you clues until y'all get it.
Come on, figures, bring us home, man.
Well, this is open to the people on in the audience, not just panelists, people in the audience also. I'm gonna keep on giving you clues. He has his own podcast, boxing,
Okay.
Of which he's a duo. Come on.
Oh, Mr. Knowledge, Spencer.
Spencer. Spencer, the Knowledge Fearon, is our guest for Wednesday. I haven't had an industry guest on for a while. And so, thought, why not? So that's confirmed. Spencer and I spoke this first thing this morning, and that's locked in. So Wednesday, 8:45 p.m. UK time. So Rafi going to be speaking with the Knowledge, Spencer Fearon. I think it's probably been something like 2 years since we last spoke. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Okay.
I'll be tuned in.
That's the first thing I thought. That's the first thing I thought, Leon. It made me laugh. It made me laugh, and I thought about that because, what are we saying? But Fight Doctor, come true and talk to Kong wins the competition. But come true, talk to the people. You want to talk? Did you see the Regis Progress fight?
I did, and Progress I thought he looked good. I would agree with you that maybe he did look a little bit sloppy, a tad bit.
Yeah.
But he did look good. His opponent put up an excellent fight, and I was thinking, watching the fight, I was thinking how much Progress sort of reminds me of Azab Judah.
Mm-hmm.
He has the same. he just has the same mechanics,
Similar.
Yeah. And I would actually like to see him and Lopez get it on.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be a very interesting fight.
Lopez, Teofimo. Who's Spenny? GT the PT say Spenny.
Spenny rank.
Oh, Spencer. I got you. You threw me for a while. GT the PT. You threw me. Yeah, but as you were saying, yeah. I find his style. Congratulations first and foremost to Regis Progress, but his style throws me. His style, it throws me. It seems so uneconomical. I'm used to, like I said before, my top two favorite fighters are Muhammad Ali and Marvin Hagler. Now, they were very different fighters, but one thing they have in common is there was an economy of movement. There was a fluidity. Now you could argue, hold on a second, how could Ali be economical if he's moving around? Well, maybe economical, maybe the better word is fluidity. There was a fluidity of movement. And there is economy in fluidity. Rafi's saying that. Rafi's saying there is an economy in fluidity. It's like when you're driving a car around a racetrack. You don't want to be flickering. You don't want to be overturning the wheel too much. You don't want to be turning the wheel too much. You want to turn the wheel as little as possible. Economy of movement. And I feel I'm being overcritical here. I feel like I'm being overly critical, but as of today, on this day, the 28th of November, Monday, the 28th of November, 2022, that's what I'm saying. There seems to be a lack of economy of movement. But then on the other hand, I have to accept he's an elite fighter. But there's a juxtaposition within that makes the Rafi feel that I ain't kind of sussed it. I haven't kind of sussed it out yet, but I'm not comfortable with Regis Prograis' style at times. At times it looks untidy. At times, and that makes me feel that there is a lack of economy, a lack of fluidity. It lacks fluidity, and therefore Rafi says it lacks economy. The juxtaposition to that is that he's clearly an elite fighter. So there is that juxtaposition, which I will have to wrestle with. And I'll be able to come up with a thesis on the whole thing at some point. But right about now, what I can say is that Prograis' style kind of confuses me a little bit. Leaves the Rafi confused just a little bit. What we saying though? Behind Kong, did you see the fight?
I saw some of the fight. I had to use dubious methods to see the fight. It was an alright fight. Prograis. I like Prograis. I mean, I like how he fights. I like how aggressive he is. I like how, he's a finisher type fighter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Josh Taylor fight is still, to me, one of the better fights I've seen in recent times.
Mm.
I'm hoping to see them fight again at some point. But I like Prograis. I'm glad he won. It was a decent fight. It was a good fight. But Prograis was in control of the fight pretty much. He closed out the show like how I want him to close out the show. But so yeah, it was a good fight. And congrats to him. I think Fight Doctor is correct. I would like to see him with Teofimo. I don't know if Prograis is still with Pro Bellum. Because, Bob Arum is, I don't do business with Pro Bellum because I have morals and blase, whatever. Blase, all this nonsense.
Mm.
So he's with Pro Bellum still.
Yes.
I'm hoping he can get to fight the other champions again, because there's 140 is one of the divisions where you don't care about nobody else other than the champions, really.
For real.
As for example, say maybe Teofimo, but other than that, there's really no other non-champion that you actually care about at 140.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're not gonna get a Teofimo fight, well, both Teofimo and Josh Taylor are with Top Rank in some capacity. So unless he can get Josh Taylor to back in the UK again,
Yeah.
I don't know where that leaves Prograis, because there's really nowhere else for him to go, because there's no actual big fights at 140 other than them fights.
Yeah.
Because
Ramirez might be a big fight.
Ramirez is in the Top Rank.
Oh.
Right? So, you know, I'm hoping the best for him, but he might be one of them guys with a belt who might have to just beat up a bunch of B and C level guys until he can get the bigger fight. You know what I mean? But, you know, I'm glad he's back though, because
Yes. Leon Figures. LF.
Yeah.
LF, where's your picture gone? Your picture disappeared too.
Pulled the camera out and it just wasn't working, so I just turned because when I tried to change it, it went wrong.
Yeah. Oh, I got you. That's when you got chippy. Okay. Did you see the fight early on? Oh, you listened to the commentary.
No. Yeah. Yes.
It was a good knockout. I'll say that. Regis finished out the show very nicely. It was too untidy for me. The whole affair was too untidy for the Rafi's sensibility. Too untidy. I found it very, very untidy. Very, very untidy. The Rafi likes things in order. The Rafi likes order.
Untidy is this. I would class him as definitely an elite 140-pounder.
Yeah.
And somebody special to beat him, because as I think it was said earlier on, I feel with the Taylor fight, and if that was in America, Regis Prograis fighting for Undisputed, I think he might have got the nod if the funds was in America for that bout, but because it was in the UK. Yeah, 140. We just need to remove those political boundary voters, because there's plenty of good fights to be made. I wish they would all just put their heads together and get the fights. There's good fights to be made, and they don't need to be so divided. You know, there's enough belts to go around. There's enough good fights. A few times, like Prograis and Taylor, you'd get one person winning twice, another person. There's no one there to just dominate. So there's good fights in that weight class. Still have good fights as long as you get a couple of victories against top level. You know, you're still a credible 140-pounder. It's a shame. There's a bit of depth in that. Teofimo Lopez coming up, and the interesting talk of, you know, 135 when he goes up. What can he do? Can he possibly bring a bit of pass? He's really going to struggle against them guys. There are some real dogs in that division. If they can just walk through him, I don't see what his skills will do to keep him in the fight. So it's interesting. I'm really like.
If who walks through who?
I was saying, if Devin Haney comes up, being undisputed at 135, normally you defend you're up. And as I was saying, when he goes up, the people there respect power and just walk through him, how will his? I think he will struggle to get wins because he's up with him when he comes up to 135. You know, his only hope is that might be draining his power. So when he doesn't have to drain himself, he will appear. But I don't know how often that actually happens. Whether people and gain more power.
So the question really is his power going to carry up? We don't know. We don't know. He might have more power. He might have more power when he goes up because it might be more. It might be a better weight for him. So he may have more power, or he may not. But there's only one way we're going to find out, and that's if he does it.
Yes. But what I'm saying, but in general, I mean, beyond that, it's just a fun division. I just wish that they would all be willing to fight each other.
Yeah. Well, we got Taylor v. Catterall coming up.
Yeah, but Ramirez, there's many good fights I'd like to see.
Ramirez wants to fight Prograis. Prograis says Ramirez dodged him for 5 years, but now he wants to fight me. So it looks like there's not going to be a stumbling block with that, or is there with Bob Arum? I don't know. We have to wait and see. But Josh Taylor, is probably going to want to collect his belt back if he beats Catterall. Is he going to beat Catterall, though? That's a big question. Is the fight doctor back? I think if he was back, he'd have probably told me in the private chat, and he ain't said so in the private chat, so he's probably not back. So let's go over to the Iron Kong. Who wins? Yeah. Catterall or Josh Taylor, the Scotsman?
I'll probably give to Josh. I would think that Josh Taylor would not be so cocky and arrogant like he was before the first fight, and humble himself and, really put a game plan together. Catterall probably had the best night of his life, and he should have won that fight, and he should have been undisputed or unified, whatever he was going to be that night.
Undisputed.
But I would be shocked if Catterall got inside of him again. And if Josh Taylor would fight so poorly again.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to surprise him two times.
I would go with Josh.
Yeah. LF, Leon Figures. Who wins the second time around? Josh Taylor, or
Taylor?
Catterall.
Josh Taylor. I mean, I've seen that produce results on the big stage.
Yo, Leon Figures, do me a favor. Drop out and come back in because your mic's really chippy.
Okay.
Really chippy. So the link's there. So come out and then come back in, please. Okay. So the Leon Figures is going to drop out.
Figures gotta run that big girl out his room. She blocking the Wi-Fi signal. Check your mampy back, say go door.
Leon Figures, we know you're hiding the mampy up in there. So get the mampy.
Put the Wi-Fi down.
Put the mampy in a separate room, Leon Figures. Put the mampy in a separate room away from the Wi-Fi. In a different room to the Wi-Fi. Because she's blocking up the signal. Okay. So we're gonna give Leon Figures a few minutes with his mampy lady.
You do that.
And in the meantime, we have to say big shout out to, is this here? Why can't I see the message? Let me go over here so I can see over here. Big shout out to Audi alias Tay. Message reads, Mr. Dawkins and panel, did we see some measure of development in the boxing IQ and technique of Whyte now that he's teamed up with Buddy McGirt? Buddy McGirt. Okay, well, we're going to come to that shortly. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Working through this thing sequentially, but we are going to address that question. Leon Figure still playing with the Mampy lady. Still playing with the Mampy lady. What's going on here? The fight doctor is back. Okay, so let's ask the fight doctor. Okay, so that was a nice, smooth knockout, the fight doctor from Regis Prograis. Now it looks like there's three potential people that he's going to be up against. One is Jack Catterall. If Jack Catterall beats Josh Taylor. Two is Josh Taylor himself, even though he's with Top Rank. And three is Ramirez. Those are the three likely opponents for Regis Prograis in the immediate future. What's your breakdown of those fights? What's your thoughts and observations?
Well, really, the only fight I would be interested in seeing would be the Taylor rematch. I think, at 140, of course, Taylor is the man, of course. And, he and Prograis, they did have a close fight. So, yeah, the only fight I'm interested in seeing is the Taylor rematch. And, I would be curious to see if Prograis could make any adjustments.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. What's going on here? Hope JT is back to normal after getting rid of that camp-looking tennis coach. You're talking about Davison, Ben Davison. Camp-looking. What's this? How would you describe long hair and a headband? I think you see when you get rid of the Mampy out of the room, stops them blocking the watch.
And even got video no dog.
Video no doggy. Video no.
Mic check. How's the sound?
Well, you got sound and vision. You see the benefits of getting the Mampy out of the room sometimes. Leon Figures, he's amazed. He's amazed. He just told her to go one side, draw one side.
Remind me if my eyes are glazed over. I just needed a quick minute.
Yes, I understand. I understand. Yeah, so we got well, let's move on from this anyway. I think we got the Jack Catterall potential if he beats Josh Taylor if he beats Jack Catterall, and Jose Ramirez. Those are the three most likely opponents for Regis Prograis. Likely to be next. Leon Figures.
All good fights. I'm not really. Yeah, as I was saying before.
Yeah.
I think I've seen Josh Taylor on the highest stage perform, and I see him have a bad performance, and Catterall look good. There's something about Ben Davison when he's with these fighters.
Yeah.
After a few fights, there's some dip in form. They always have some kind of bad performance, and I believe he's parted ways with Ben Davies now.
He has. Josh Taylor's parted ways with Ben Davies.
So I think he's going to soundly beat Catterall. And I'm not so high on another Prograis fight, unless the Prograis fight was in America.
Right.
I'm not so high in another one. You know, I'd rather Prograis fight Ramirez.
Yeah, I'd like to see Prograis
Ramirez can get a belt, and then they do a unification. I'd like to see how that one would have played out.
Well, I'd like to see him against Ramirez. Ramirez ain't getting a belt from nowhere, I don't think.
Isn't he in line for? Isn't he challenging for one of the belts? I thought he was.
Ramirez? Well, He might be. I
thought Bob agreed it worked his magic, and
yeah, because Josh Taylor's still got 2 belts left. Prograis has got 1, so that leaves 1 floating around. Yeah. So it might be. But I think we've talked enough. We've talked enough about Regis Progress, and I think we need to move on because there's a whole heap of other fights that happened out there. People want to talk about them, and I think, well, might as well do it now. Might as well get to what's the stage? Where are we now? What's the stage we at? Yeah. Let's get to it. Let's get to the biggest fight of the weekend, and that was Dillian Whyte versus Franklin. Whyte v. What's that cat name? What's that cat's first name? Franklin's first name, I forget. Whyte versus Franklin.
I think it's Jermaine.
Jermaine. Okay, let's go with Jermaine. I'll check it later. Let's go with Jermaine for now. Jermaine Franklin. He don't look like no Jermaine to me. He don't look like no Jermaine Jackson to me. That's the first Jermaine I ever heard of. That was Jermaine Jackson. But anyway, what did I think of the fight? Well, I marked the fight. I was covering the fight live right here on the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. If you have not already subscribed, but you enjoy the content, please kindly do so. If you have not already hit the like button, but you enjoy the content, please kindly do so. So we covered it over here at the RDCR, and we called it on Monday, last Monday. I predicted that it was going to be a competitive fight. When asked, I predicted it was going to be competitive. It proved to be competitive, extremely competitive, so much so that going into the 10th round. Well, at the end of the 10th round, I had it as a draw. I had the fight as a draw at the end of the 10th round. And then checking my scorecards, I had Dillian Whyte winning the 10th, 11th, and 12th rounds. Just edging it. Just doing sufficiently more to win those last 3 rounds. And interestingly enough, Jermaine Franklin came out and said, well, that was his first 12-rounder fight. So it explains why he dipped off at the end a little bit. Because that was his first 12-rounder. But I think that was one of the most entertaining heavyweight fights of the year. I was pleased. I was enthused. I was very happy. It was entertaining. I was entertained.
I only caught the last 4 rounds.
Okay.
And normally you never know when you see was he 21-0? They could be, someone's still building their career at that stage.
Yeah.
And you're concerned can be the level of opposition, but he did not look out of place. Going into the championship rounds, as they call them, and he was going toe to toe with Dillian Whyte. I don't know if that means Dillian Whyte has fallen off and Franklin's at a level, or whether Franklin is tough and durable enough, because he didn't look like he was in the best shape. I think he hadn't had a fight. I think he'd had one fight in like 3 years.
Yeah, 2. One fight in 2
years. So everything was kind of against him. But
7-week training camp as well. 7-week training camp.
Yeah, he stood his own. He really stood his own.
Yeah.
And for the 4 rounds I saw, Dillian was on top on those rounds, but he never looked like, other than the practically the last punch, he never looked like he hurt Franklin. And as much as it was a slugfest. Franklin would throw some lovely combinations. Dillian Whyte was throwing some big hooks. It looked nice.
Yeah.
I saw it look nice.
Yeah. And Kong.
Yeah, I thought it was a good fight. You're asking me who I thought won the fight or what I thought about the fight?
What are your observations?
No, I thought it was a really good fight. I remember before telling people, like, y'all sleeping on the guy Franklin. The guy can fight.
Yeah.
Like, he ain't fought this. I was like, no. You have to watch him fight. the type of fighter he is might give Dillian trouble because he doesn't have a lot of power, but he's fast, right? He's fast with his hands.
Yes.
And he'll run up the square on you and all that. He can fight. But as usual, some people, because they don't know who somebody is, automatically that's a bomb, that's a cherry pick. I'm like, nah. The guy can fight. You know what I mean? I thought he was picking up the early rounds.
Yep.
Dillian, I think, is a few things it could be. It could be that he was trying to be economical because he didn't want to gas out. It could be that he actually was trying to work his boxing more in this fight because he started out really slow and he was landing on Franklin, but the guy could take a punch. I think he's really tough. I don't think Dillian is falling off because the guy could take a punch. I think he's tough, right? Dillian has never known to be no fleet of foot guy, but he slowed down a lot in this fight and he tried to work his boxing more, tried to work his defense a bit more with the cross guard and all that. I never seen him do none of that shit before.
For real.
You know, so I'm just trying to work that. I think the later rounds, Franklin he slowed down and he allowed Dillian back into the fight. I don't think it was no 116, 112 fight. I thought it was a split, and I guess they gave it to Dillian. Is just who you like and why you like as a judge. I thought it was a split decision, and I was fine with it. I hear people say, "Oh, it was a robbery." Look, I've seen robberies in boxing. I've seen robberies in boxing. That wasn't one of them. Okay, so I just thought it was a really good fight. It would be nice to see Franklin back. Hopefully, Demetrius Salita gets him on more cards, maybe with Matchroom. But yeah, I would like to see him beat up this guy called Sol Dacres. That's with Eddie Hearn. That guy sucks.
Solomon, the
he just big for nothing, Jed. Just big for nothing. So I wouldn't mind seeing Jermaine Franklin beat up that boy. Yeah, that's me though.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. The Fight Doctor, talk to me.
I thought Dillian Whyte looked bad. Like, who is this guy? Right?
Who's this guy?
Yeah, this guy comes out of nowhere. Him and his man boobs, they come out of nowhere. And listen. If you look in the dictionary, if you look up the word man boobs, the term man boobs in the dictionary, it's going to be a picture of Franklin there holding his hands in the air. So, and how does this guy just come out of nowhere and make you look ordinary?
Well, he hasn't come out of nowhere though. It's just that you haven't seen him. He fought what's his name? Hunter. Michael Hunter. No, he didn't fight. Sorry. He fought Jerry Forrest.
Yeah.
Jerry Forrest, who also fought Michael Hunter, and who most people, myself included, believe that Jerry Forrest beat Michael Hunter. Well, this guy, Franklin, I know it's triangle theory and we don't do that, but still, I just got to mention it because it's on the spider diagram. This guy, Franklin, beat Jerry Forrest, although people say that no, they don't. It's on paper, yes, but in reality, no. But either way, whether he beat him or not, I rate Jerry Forrest. He's an up-and-comer. And Franklin is in that mold. So him and Jerry Forrest, two guys who are up there in skills and ability, who have not yet gained public recognition. But just because they haven't gained public recognition don't mean that they ain't good. I got them in a similar bracket. So they're good boxers who the public haven't caught on to yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the guy deserves credit for making what most people think is a very good, very well-skilled heavyweight look very bad. I mean, Dillian Whyte, basically won every round against Povetkin except the round he got knocked out. But every other round he won. And Povetkin is a very, very well-skilled heavyweight. So to outbox a guy like that means you have skills.
Yes.
And for Franklin to come out of nowhere and put on that kind of a performance against a guy who is as apparently skilled as Whyte is, that says something. But I'll tell you what, though, watching the fight, I was thinking maybe perhaps, I think stylistically, I like Dillian Whyte's chances against a guy like Usyk. I think that would be a bad style matchup for a guy like Usyk. And maybe if I were Dillian Whyte's people, I would try to angle for that fight, provided that the Fury Usyk fight doesn't get made.
I don't see that. I don't see that.
Well, listen, Dillian Whyte, in my opinion, has all the tools necessary to beat Usyk. Mainly a left hook and a sneaky right hand. And he likes to throw a left hook to the body. And, I think that at the range that Usyk likes to fight, Whyte could probably catch him coming in with a right hand, or maybe even, sort of position Usyk to catch some of those left hooks to the body. But I think stylistically, I think a guy like Dillian Whyte, I think he has a style to beat a Usyk.
I mean, on your first point about Franklin, where's he come from, etc. I mean, whichever way you look on it, 20-0 or 21 fights in, fighting Dillian Whyte, even at Dillian Whyte's stage, and holding your own and being in a close competitive fight, it deserves recognition. Plus, I'm also always going to respect an undefeated American heavyweight willing to travel to the US, to the UK, as the away fighter, where the judges aren't going to give you the rub of the green in any close round. And I think what I'm hoping is that other heavyweights see that despite the scorecards, that the British fans, if you go in there and you equip yourself well, he was getting cheers at the end. He's earned some British fans, and there'll be more fights in the UK for him. I'm sure Eddie Hearn will find more fights for him because he works with Demetrius Elite. Eddie Hearn likes fighters that put on good shows. And what Eddie Hearn's usual thing is to go with is to put them on, fight his other heavyweights to give him fights with them. So I really hope we see Franklin again in the UK, and I hope some UK fighters are happy to go to the US and fight him on some of the zone cards in the US, which I think would be fair. Also, when it comes to Dillian Whyte, and as much as Dillian Whyte is my favourite boxer, I think that Dillian Whyte struggles the most with his foot movements.
Yeah.
And I do not see how anyone who struggles with foot movement can get near Usyk and land clean on him. I get what you mean, where I can see attributes of him where if he can bring that dog out and make it dirty and harm Usyk, but I just think Usyk will not let him hit him clean. He will avoid those danger shots. He'll block them, he'll spin to move, and I think he'll just jab and hurt Dillian and possibly even stop him. And I hate to say that. I hate to say that. I think, yeah, I do. And Dillian Whyte's my favourite heavyweight, and it's so hard to say this, but it could be like the second Fury and Chisora fight, where Chisora just wasn't able to land, and Fury was just peppering him with shots, and it became a bit unsavoury to keep watching. That's how I could see that fight, possibly Usyk and Dillian Whyte happening. I'd love to see Dillian Whyte get a shot, another shot at the belts. Because if Usyk comes with the wrong game plan and Dillian Whyte catches him, it gets interesting. I just don't think Usyk is the kind of fighter to switch off or to turn up with the wrong game plan.
It's a tricky one. I think Whyte has trouble with his footwork, and he always has. I think. Do you know he got shot in the leg?
No, I've never heard that.
Who got shot in the leg?
Dillian Whyte.
Yes.
So effectively, to me, Dillian Whyte's disabled. His legs.
Dillian Whyte was a real bad man.
Sorry.
Dillian Whyte was on some real bad man thing.
Yeah. It's crazy. Crazy lifestyle.
Yeah, and he went home and pulled the bully out himself, didn't he? Didn't even.
Yeah, that's what I heard. He pulled that bully out himself. So to me, I mean, Dillian Whyte, when he walks, when he moves, I mean, I'm a qualified trainer. One of the things you have to look for is a person's biomechanics. Now, when I look at Dillian Whyte's biomechanics, his lower body biomechanics, it's all off. So effectively, Dillian Whyte's kind of disabled in terms of an athlete. For an athlete, his movement it almost renders him disabled. He don't move properly. His legs don't work properly. So he's never going to be fluid. His leg work is never going to be fluid. His leg work, his footwork is disjointed. And I think that's going to might cause him problems for an Usyk. On the flip side of that coin, I do believe that with his hooks, where there's hooks, there's hope. Let's just say that. For Dillian Whyte, where there's hooks, there's hope. He admitted to being under pressure. He said, 2 fights. They were saying 2 fights. You lose 2 fights and you're done. So he admitted that he was under that pressure. Did that affect his performance? Did that pressure affect his performance? Perhaps. But he was also with a new trainer, Buddy McGirt. Trying out new things, new techniques, trying to follow instructions. I don't know what the instructions were. I was commentating, so the volume was down. But I understand the instructions were basically focus on the body. That was my understanding. That's what I've heard subsequently. And he did focus on the body. It was a tight fight. It was very close up until the 10th. On my scorecard, and many people's scorecard, so I understand of what I've got to hear subsequently, Dillian Whyte won the 10th, 11th, and 12th. That seems to be a consensus view, and that was certainly the view on my scorecard. It was a close fight. Jermaine Franklin is a good fighter, on par with Jerry Forrest. Both of them are good fighters. Franklin exceeded my expectation. I expected him to be good. He's a 2-time Golden Glove. I expected him to be good, but he exceeded my expectation. I'm very pleased for him.
Dubois?
Sorry?
Do you think Franklin beats Dubois?
No. Did you hear that they had a sparring session?
No.
Yes, they had a sparring session, and apparently Dubois put that work on him. And it was one of those kind of sparring sessions where people stop working out and start looking at what's going on in the ring. One of them. Franklin had his people with him, and they was cool with it. They had a little sparring war. Dubois won the war, but Franklin, that's from my understanding, but Franklin gained everyone's respect by his gameness. So he stuck in there and gave back. So they have experience together. Franklin is nice, and for a heavyweight, I'd have to say he's fluid. As man boobs included, yeah, he was overweight, but he was fluid.
I'd like to see him in shape. What he can move.
I'd be very interested in seeing Franklin in shape.
No, every fight I've seen him, he looks like that.
I'd like to see him with a bit of money and a proper training camp. Let's see what he comes in like. If he loses a bit of weight, and
he's got an incentive now, because to me, he fought like a man with incentive. Hearn said, "Listen, if you win this fight, you got Joshua next, and that's millions." And he seemed like a highly incentivized fighter. So now, Kong, let's see with this new incentive that he's got, whether he can shake off them titties.
No, but what I'm saying, every fight I've seen him in, he looks like that. That's just kind of how he looks. He's like Dillian Whyte, always looks a bit portly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying with Franklin is that, I would be interested to see where Dimitri Salita could get his guys, like him and Otto Wallin, because guys like Dimitri Salita, their guys kind of fight like Otto Wallin's last fight was in some gymnasium somewhere.
Terrible.
I mean, so his guys always fights in these. It's either like really, really, really low-key cards, or like they get called up quickly to fight some big name somewhere. Like Otto got called to fight Tyson Fury and gave Tyson Fury hells.
Yeah.
What's his name? Franklin got called to fight Dillian Whyte, gave him hells.
Yeah.
So I would like to see the guys them get, especially Franklin, get a chance to shine more on these cards. So Dimitri should be, and Franklin himself should be telling Dimitri like, yo, let me stay over here in England. Let me do some work in England for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because what, you gonna carry him back to America to do what? Fight who? Fight back in some basketball arena somewhere again. Fighting Rydell Booker, people like that.
Yeah.
In his loss to Dillian Whyte, his stock rose more than when he was undefeated.
Very much so.
So while he might be annoyed at, I lost or whatever, look at the other part. No, people actually know your name and want to see you. There's money to be made, and he need to get on Demetrius and say, look, make more fights with Eddie, Frank over here, Boxer, you know what I'm saying? Them kind of things.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I can see happening. I can see Eddie Hearn and Salita saying Franklin versus Michael Hunter on a DAZN card in the US.
Yes.
Hunter's available.
I'd like that.
That would be nice if Michael Hunter hasn't burned the bridge too bad. Remember that whole Horgovich thing where he pulled out the fight.
Yeah.
And all that nonsense.
Well, he's on social media now saying he stops he said I stopped Dillian Whyte.
Don't worry, Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter said he will fight for free and all kind of thing. Don't mind that guy, man. Just bang him out. What a strange man.
He said I stopped Dillian Whyte, so I texted him, I messaged him, I said, why didn't you stop Hergovic?
Madman.
No.
Guy always talking, man.
Why didn't you stop Hergovic? But I stopped. Why didn't you stop Hergovic? You wouldn't even fight him, much less stop him. Why you were scared of? Well, I didn't say that. But it seemed to me like a lot of people were shook of Hergovic before Zilizan took care of him.
And I don't know why, because the guy ain't nothing special.
See, I don't think it's a case of as many people were scared of Hergovic. I think it was a case of the incentive wasn't there enough. And I think a lot of the similar things happened with Dillian Whyte. I don't think Deontay Wilder was scared of him. And I don't think Tyson Fury was scared of him. I just think that the incentive to fight him wasn't there. Sorry,
Leon, but that was going to be Deontay Wilder's biggest payday to date to fight Dillian Whyte at that time.
But there were other fights.
How much more incentive do you need than your biggest payday?
Okay, so if somebody earns 50k a year,
and
there's a chance for them to earn 70, that's their biggest. But if there's another job that's paying 80 or 90 or 100,
there was no 80. There was no 80 for Dillian Whyte.
Well, he got paid more to fight Fury. He got paid more to.
That was down the line. That was down the line. But originally, Fury was still retired when they was talking about Dillian Whyte. That was going to be Wilder's fight doctor. Where are you at?
Well, hold on. No. Remember though, Deontay Wilder was pushing for the Joshua fight, and he was saying, "I'm not going to fight through Matchroom's cards to work my way up to your champion because I'm already a champion." And that to me did make sense. Like,
well, hold on a second. If you're that good, if you're that much of a badass, and you're getting a career high payday to fight Dillian Whyte, and then after that you're gonna get Joshua, are you not gonna collect that money? Are you not gonna be like Pac-Man? Are you not gonna be like Pac-Man? You played Pac-Man. You're just going along eating up everything, eating up.
And sometimes Pac-Man will catch you.
If you're that much of a bad man, how are you not going to be a Pac-Man?
Because the ghost catch Pac-Man sometimes. If Pac-Man
so that means you were scared then. If that's the answer, then fine, I'll accept it.
So wait a minute. As I recall, Dillian Whyte was the WBC #1 heavyweight in the world.
Number one,
not the mandatory.
Not mandatory. #1.
And
Yeah.
before he could manage to make himself mandatory, and this is while Deontay Wilder was still WBC champion, before Dillian Whyte could manage to become mandatory, as I recall, he got one punch knocked out by Alexander Povetkin.
Rubbish. That was years later. That was
No,
2
he got
years later.
into him. He got into
That
him.
was years. That was years later.
Years later. Years later.
He
So
was
you
number
got
one
two-
for way
so we
too
got
long
two-
before
So
being
we
made.
got 2 years where Deontay Wilder could have been like Pac-Man and just ate up that money. Highest payday, Dillian Whyte. Highest payday, Anthony Joshua.
Wilder was saying how much of he's a garbage fighter. So okay, so you're telling me that was your highest payday then? So you beat up that easy walk, that's a tune up for you to then fight Joshua for your undisputed. But what he do after that? Fight people for less money than Dillian Whyte. So you let me tell you something. In boxing, anybody could catch you. A high rank, a low rank, anybody could catch you. So he fought people lower rank than Dillian Whyte after that for less money.
Luis Ortiz in a pay-per-view.
No, it wasn't a pay-per-view. That was a free Fox fight.
The first Luis Ortiz fight. But then the second
was
one
a free Fox fight. The second one was pay-per-view, but nobody watched.
Yeah. The first one was Fox.
First one was a good fight.
Free Fox. It was a good fight, but he ain't get paid the kind of money you could have get paid. He ain't get paid that kind of money.
Ducking the money.
He should have cleaned up Dillian Whyte, eat up that money, and fight Joshua a long time.
Eat up the money.
I mean,
a confident fighter eats up that money. Next, eat it. Listen, you just eat up the money. Some of these prima donna cats who just want to pick that one and then pick that one over there and then pick that one at 18 months later. No, Deontay Wilder could have ate up career high payday, but he didn't. Instead, he told Dillian Whyte, "I'm gonna make you wait for 2 years." No excuse. No excuse.
All right. Okay, so he's a PBC fighter. Eddie Hearn wants him to go to fight his number 2 heavyweight when Deontay Wilder's a champion. Deontay Wilder was saying to Dillian Whyte, you come and fight PBC's number 2 heavyweight at the time, then you fight me. Rather than I fight you, then I fight Joshua, you fight Luis Ortiz, then you fight me. And that's when Dillian Whyte was saying to him, we'll put it in writing. And that's when he said, look, I don't have to put nothing in writing. I can freeze you out for 2 years. And he was saying, it's that whole side of the street argument. Al Heyman doesn't let them leave his PBC platform.
PBC Island.
Yeah, he doesn't let them leave. He doesn't let them leave it.
But now, wait, can't you say the same thing for Matchroom?
Absolutely not. They fight everybody.
Wait, hold on a second. Wait. When is the last time
Matchroom fighters leave Matchroom shows? It is rare.
When is the last time I've seen Anthony Joshua not fighting on DAZN?
No. Sorry, my misunderstanding. Okay, what I mean is that they bring people to Matchroom where they make their career high paydays.
Yeah, but that wasn't the question. The question was, when is the last time you've seen Anthony Joshua not fighting?
I misheard you. I corrected myself. And what I meant to say was, no, they fight on Matchroom and they bring over people to make career high paydays on Matchroom. PBC aren't bringing over people to make career high paydays. Yes, Iron Kong.
So now, wait a second. Hold on. Now, I have to take issue with that.
Iron Kong, we got to just saying goodbye to Iron Kong. Iron Kong, much appreciation. Thanks for jumping on. Okay, the fight doctor, back to you.
Okay, because to me it sounds like you want to have your cake and eat it too. Because first, your argument is that PBC is not bringing fighters over to make career high paydays. However, correct me if I'm wrong, but Anthony Joshua goes on record saying that if Uncle Al finds $50 million, he will come fight Deontay Wilder.
That was an Instagram offer. We've been through this 1,000 times. I'll go through it again if you want me to. It was an Instagram offer. The money was a hypothetical money from BT Sports. Anthony Joshua could not fight on BT Sports because he was exclusively contracted to Sky Sports. So all of that was hypothetical money, and the figure came from Frank Warren. He went to BT Sports and said, hypothetically, how much could we offer Anthony Joshua? Could we offer him 50 million hypothetically? And BT Sports went away, pressed the calculator 3 or 4 times and said, yes, we could offer him 50 million hypothetically. So he went back and told, what's his name? Shirley Finkel. Yeah, hypothetically, we could offer Anthony Joshua 50 million. So Shirley Finkel had a conversation with Wilder, and then Wilder went on Instagram and he said, we have 50 million. And we have 50 million, and we're offering you 50 million. You have 24 hours within which to accept our offer. And yeah, I said, well, let's meet and talk about it. Eddie Hearn said, let's meet and talk about it. Let's look at the contract. Let's look at the details. And Shelley Finkel said, no. Case closed.
Yeah,
Shelley Finkel wouldn't meet.
I really wish when Joshua had said, pay me, give me 50 million and I'll sign in 24 hours. I wish he just never said that second part of the sentence, because that's what gave them the reason to say no, accept it in 24 hours, like you said. That is what they hang on to. They say that's what he said. That is what they hang on to. They say that's what he asked for.
Well, yeah, obviously it was a bogus offer because nobody's giving the 24-hour deadlines for a contract, so it was a bogus offer.
Well, Anthony Joshua seems to get deadlines for contracts. I mean, Tyson Fury was giving him a deadline the other day.
Everybody wants to give Anthony Joshua deadlines. It's bizarre. It's like they treat him like some kind of boy. It's like some kind of boy in the game, like he's a boy. I don't know why they feel that they can boy him up in the game, but maybe he's the latest one to come in, so they kind of treat him like a boy, like a Joey. But yet he's the one he's the one who put the groundwork in. He's the one who had his shoulder to the wheel. He's the one who's fought more top 10 consensus top 10 opponents than both Fury or Wilder. He's the one who's put the work in, and yet they want to treat him like a boy. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. It's mad. It's mad. So that 50 gram offer was foolishness.
You do realize, of course, that Joshua's resume is lacking.
Well, I don't care. I don't care what if somebody wants to say it's lacking. The bottom line is the facts are that he's fought more Ring Magazine top 10 opponents than Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder put together. Now that's a fact. If you say his resume is lacking, that's an opinion. What I come with is the facts, and the facts is he's fought more Ring Magazine top 10 heavyweights than Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury put together.
I've got bad news for you, sir. Contrary to popular belief, the Ring Magazine is not the Bible of boxing.
Well, you can say that, and that's all cool in the gang, but that's the yardstick, that's the measure that people use. So there you go.
That's the measure that some people use, but unfortunately for the Anthony Joshua cheerleading contingent, what the Ring Magazine has to say.
He said it. I was waiting.
He did it. I should charge him for every time he comes out with that nonsense statement. Every time he comes out with that nonsense statement, he should be fined by the RDCR. We should find him.
Contrary to the Anthony Joshua cheerleading contingent, what the Ring Magazine says does not constitute fact. It does not.
Hey,
sorry. But the Ring Magazine's rankings are opinions, okay? And generally opinions based on nonsense and tomfoolery, from what I can see.
That's the yardstick that we go by. That's the measuring stick. That's the yardstick that we use. So, that's the standard. That's the standardized stick. So there we go. We're back on topic. Leon Figures was talking. Leon Figures.
What Wilder? Because at the time, the 1, 2, and 3, whichever order you put it, Wilder, Fury, and Joshua. where Wilder and Fury have fought each other,
Yeah.
they're always going to have that on him. He needs to get one of them in the ring to even it out.
Well, listen, they pulled a master stroke.
They
pulled a master stroke. So congratulations to them. They pulled a master stroke. They said, listen, what Wilder did was he kept his name in with Anthony Joshua, linked it up with Anthony Joshua. He tried to trick people into believing that he was on parity with Anthony Joshua financially. They tried to cook the books. They tried to make it look like Deontay Wilder had some kind of economic parity with Anthony Joshua, and that was all a big ruse and a scam in order to try to say that he deserved a bigger share of the pot should he meet Anthony Joshua. But he never had parity with Anthony Joshua. He was never the economic draw that Anthony Joshua is. And that's come. But what they did was they tried to imply, to suggest that Wilder was Anthony Joshua's economic equal. And same thing with Tyson Fury. We know that he was not Anthony Joshua's economic equal, but they tried and they plotted together and they built each other up.
Okay, wait.
No, I haven't finished. They built each other up using Anthony Joshua's name. Both Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder built each other up using Anthony Joshua's name, and then they started to fight each other. The first fight was kind of mediocre. They got like 3 million, 4 million guarantees, and then got a few more mil on the back end. Yeah, fine. And then the second fight, bigger. So that was a success. They could have walked away with something like 20 before deductions, 28 mil a piece. The third fight, less of an appeal. Maybe they walked away with something like 20 mil a piece. Well,
money.
Deontay Wilder got less because he was on 40% because he lost the second one. Still very good money. Still way above what they would have been earning, what they had been earning before. Way above that. So it worked out perfectly. It worked out very, very well for them. But still, Deontay Wilder said, I said to Fury, I walked away. I walked away from more. I could afford Joshua for more money than I got for fighting you. So Anthony Joshua still.
He was honoring his agreement. And
but the point is that Anthony Joshua is still the bigger economic entity of the three of them. Still the bigger economic entity of the three of them. And to this day, if Joshua fights Wilder, it would be a bigger fight than Fury fighting Usyk. So arguably, I don't even think it's arguable. And even now, to this day, Anthony Joshua is the biggest economic.
I think the South is an undisputed fight. That oil money wants to undisputed, so they might offer him. They might actually be able to make that challengeable to a Wilder Joshua fight, the Usyk Fury fight, because the Middle East want it. They're on their sports washing at the moment with the World Cup over there, and they want the undisputed fight. They want the
undisputed. It depends on who's in the undisputed fight. To me, it depends on who's on the undisputed fight.
There's offers for now. There's offers for the current champions now.
Do the Middle East want Fury
and Usyk? Yeah, there's offers.
Middle East want Fury? Do the Middle East want Usyk?
They want undisputed. Same way they want the golf. Same way they want the World Cup.
Well, we'll see.
They don't care who wins.
We'll see. I don't know if a Fury and a Usyk are appealing to the Middle East. I don't know.
I think it does. I think it's undisputed. That's what they're going to put it.
I don't know. I need to see some offers. I need to see some offers because the Middle East the Middle East never went calling for Fury. The Middle East never went calling for Usyk.
He's been there with the wrestling, hasn't he?
The WWE, yeah, the WWE. So the WWE called him over to do some wrestling. Yeah, that is true.
So there are links there. He's he's got previous for being over there, and
Yes,
he's undisputed.
He has been over there, but his lifestyle admired by the Middle East? I don't think so.
There's parts of Fury where you can say, he's had Muslim trainers in his camp. His camp is very diverse.
I don't think his lifestyle is admired over there in the Middle East. Even the other day, he was kicking a taxi in a drunken stupor. I don't think those characteristics are
Well, I think they accept that he's Western. He's not Middle Eastern, so he's going to
But you can be Western. You can be Western and still have a greater degree of civility.
Oh, I mean,
I don't think his characteristics are admired in the Middle East. That's what I'm saying to you.
But I think that Undisputed would be admired. Holding an Undisputed title fight would be admired in the Middle East. And
maybe.
I
don't think it's a given with a character like Tyson Fury. He may be.
I'm not saying they like him. They would like the Undisputed fight. It's like, do they like football fans that get drunk and fight in the streets? Absolutely not. But they're holding the World Cup because they like the World Cup. They like their countries to be on the world stage holding the biggest sporting events, which is where I can see a path. As you said, not proven, because Joshua's been there multiple times, but I can see a path for them to want to say, we are going to put you up some oil money to hold your Undisputed fight in us, even Fury and Usyk. I can see that being a possibility.
Yeah, that's a possibility. It's a possibility. But overall,
can I chime in for a second?
Yeah. Overall, 1 second. Overall, I don't think the Fury characteristics which are admired over there. And so, whilst they might pay them some money, I don't know, man. Fight doctor, come in.
Okay, so listen, no one is arguing against Anthony Joshua's drawing power. He's a draw. All right, there's no question about that. However, the fact that he's a draw does not detract from what most likely was Eddie Hearn keeping Anthony Joshua from Deontay Wilder because
nonsense.
Hearn knew what everyone else on this side of the pond knows, is that Deontay Wilder sleeps Anthony Joshua.
Nonsense.
Yep, it's already happened.
Nonsense.
We've already seen Anthony Joshua get knocked out of a fight.
You've never seen Anthony Joshua slept.
I've seen him knocked out of a fight. I've seen him quit.
You've never seen Anthony Joshua slept or quit.
I've seen him knocked out of a fight. I've seen the fight knocked out of him. Put it that way.
You've never seen him not get up off the canvas within regulation time.
But I've seen him not finish a fight.
Well, now, you've seen the referee wave off a fight. The bottom line is that at the time, if Deontay Wilder seriously believed he could have beat Anthony Joshua, there were multiple offers which he could have and would have taken if he seriously believed it. Deontay Wilder turned down the possibility of becoming the undisputed champion of the heavyweight division. He turned it down.
Yeah, because Joshua, Eddie Hearn, they didn't want to make the fight.
They made the offer, and Deontay Wilder turned down every single offer.
Again, you want to have your cake and eat it too, because on the one hand, Eddie Hearn, they made an offer to Deontay Wilder, but on the other hand, you have Anthony Joshua telling Uncle Al, come up with $50 million and I sign the contract, but did not sign the contract after Uncle Al came up with $50 million.
Deontay Wilder turned down every single offer made to them to fight Anthony Joshua. The one bogus offer that they came up with was laughable, which no one can take serious. No one takes a 24-hour contract seriously. It's ridiculous.
Right. You want to know what's laughable? What's laughable is the thought that a guy who couldn't manage to go 6 rounds with the Pillsbury Doughboy is somehow competitive with a fighter who's arguably the hardest puncher in the division, in the history of the heavyweight division, arguably. Okay.
Well, first and foremost, you're trying to give Deontay Wilder credit for something he did not do. Something that Andy Ruiz did. You're trying to give that credit to Deontay Wilder. He didn't do it. If Deontay Wilder was such a badass, he would have done it. He could have tried to do it himself, and then got the living crap beat out of him by Anthony Joshua. But Deontay Wilder was wise and knew that he was frail. He'd be frail in the face of Joshua, and he kept his ass in Alabama, which was the right thing for him to do. If he was such a badass, he would have accepted one of the offers made to him to fight Anthony Joshua, or Dillian Whyte. He could have wet his beak with Dillian Whyte and then graduated to Anthony Joshua and been Pac-Man and collected all that money. But instead, he kept his ass in Alabama where he felt safe.
The right thing listen, we're going to agree in this regard that the right thing for Deontay Wilder, what he should have done, in my opinion, was fight Anthony Joshua, provided that Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn were actually serious about making a fight, which in my mind they weren't.
What are you talking about? Accept the offer and fight
everybody else was. Because certainly the Anthony Joshua fight would have been a lot more winnable prospect as opposed to fighting Tyson Fury.
What do you say?
Anthony Joshua Deontay Wilder is more likely to have beaten Anthony Joshua than he had to have beaten Tyson Fury.
Fantasyland.
I will agree with you that Deontay Wilder should have, provided that Hearn and company were willing to make the fight.
Take the offer.
Should have gone in that direction.
Taken one of the offers.
Because he probably would still be undefeated.
Did you used to watch a program back in the day called Fantasy Island?
I did.
There you go. Fantasy Island. This Fantasy Island for you to think that Deontay Wilder wasn't shook to his boots about the prospect of fighting Anthony Joshua. The man was shook. Scared to look. He was even scared to look at Joshua, shook. Otherwise, there's no other explanation about why they wouldn't have taken career high payday after career high payday offered to Deontay Wilder. One to fight Dillian Whyte, and then two to fight Anthony Joshua, and Deontay Wilder walked away from all them millions.
Other than the networks, that's the only credible reason why you would turn down. Networks do block fighters.
He was a free agent, according to him. Deontay Wilder he's a free agent to this day.
They all say that. They all say they've not got a manager. They've got a
manager. They're not got a boss. According to him, he ain't got no boss. He's his own big man. He's his own big boss.
Well, we all know that Al Heyman.
He's the true big boss. He's a final boss. He's a final boss at the top of the pyramid.
But legally, because he's navigating or circumventing the Muhammad Ali Act, they have to come out and say these things. But it's not true. They have to say these things to help circumvent the Muhammad Ali Act.
So he has got a boss then?
Yes. Come on, that's obvious. Otherwise, he would have taken career high paydays. How many career high paydays do PBC fighters turn down? If they're their own bosses, they will take the paydays.
Yo, fight doctor. Why the hell does Deontay Wilder pretend he hasn't got a boss?
Well, listen, the only fighter in boxing who doesn't have a boss at this moment is probably Canelo Alvarez.
It's Anthony Joshua and Canelo Alvarez.
No, Anthony Joshua has a boss.
He ain't got no boss. He's his own big boss. He's the final boss. He's the final boss.
No, sir. Anthony Joshua has a boss.
Canelo is his own final boss, and Anthony Joshua is his own final boss. Why do you always try to bring people down to Deontay Wilder level? Why does it hurt you to think that know that Deontay Wilder's got a boss, so you think, oh, Anthony Joshua has to have a boss as well?
Because Anthony Joshua has a boss. That's why I think Anthony Joshua has a boss, because he does. I'm sorry. It's true. He does.
How? How does he have a boss?
Who promotes Anthony Joshua?
He employs Eddie Hearn to promote him.
Yeah. Okay. So Anthony Joshua has a promoter, yes?
He employs a promoter, yes.
Okay. Deontay Wilder,
Yeah.
he employs a promoter too, doesn't he?
No, he don't employ nobody. He don't employ nobody.
So
He's an
Deontay Wilder
employee.
does not have a promoter.
He is an employee of Al Heyman. Al Heyman tells him what to do. Al Heyman tells him how high to jump and when he should jump.
I see. So on the one hand, so once again, we see the flawless, infallible logic of the Anthony Joshua cheerleading contingent on full display.
What do you mean?
Because Anthony Joshua, he employs a promoter.
Yes.
But Deontay Wilder, he has a promoter.
Of course, because he's not his own big boss. He can't make decisions. He has a boss to make his decisions. And his boss is Al Heyman. You know, at the end of every fight, when they say, yeah, we'd just like to thank Al Heyman, our Lord and Savior, Al Heyman. It's obvious. He's their big boss. He's the big boss at PBC. If you work for PBC, you are in the employment of Al Heyman.
Okay, so when Anthony Joshua fights, what is the name printed on the ring apron? On the ring mat? It's Rematch Room, isn't it?
It's Match Room or the Zone.
Rematch Room, exactly. That's what I said. Rematch Room, not Joshua Promotions, but Rematch Room Promotions. Yes.
I told you that's the people he employs to promote him.
I see. Okay.
Listen,
however you want to twist it and misconstrue it, that's fine.
Deontay Wilder has a boss who put the blocks on him earning career high paydays fighting Joshua. It's simple. It cannot be denied. It's obvious. It's there in your face. It's staring you in the face. Even Mayweather.
I am not denying
Mayweather. Mayweather came over and accepted that DAZN bag.
See, unlike the Anthony Joshua cheerleading contingent, I do not deny that which is painfully obvious.
Painfully obvious.
Now, if we need to go over what those pains are, I'll be more than happy. Because what's painfully obvious to me,
Deontay Wilder has a boss, and his name is Al Heyman.
And I'm not even going to dispute that at all. But as much as Deontay Wilder has a boss, guess what?
What?
So does your man.
Don't be silly.
Mr. Joshua.
Don't be silly.
Joshua.
This is the game that you play because you don't want to acknowledge that your American guy has a boss. You want to feel now that the English guy, he's got a boss too. You don't want to acknowledge that he's his own big boss. And that's crazy to me.
There are very few fighters, and there's only one I can think of off the top of my head.
There's two fighters
who do not have a boss.
There are two fighters now.
Unfortunately, Anthony Joshua is not one of them.
Okay, then Rafi, if what you're saying was true, and I always try and add balance.
Yeah.
If AJ was his own boss, he will be able to do what Canelo does and go and fight whatever platform. That AJ doesn't have that option.
Well, no, AJ is in a exclusive contract with DAZN, I believe, and
that doesn't mean you're your own boss, then, does it? If you're restricted from trading in certain places,
he's restricted from training in certain places, but within the context of that contract, he's his own boss within the context of the contract.
Well, that's like saying you're the boss within the contract of being employed.
Well,
it's like saying you're in prison, but you're free to roam about.
Well, listen, the way I put
Canelo's the only one that's not. I have to agree with the fight doctor. Canelo's the only one. I'm sorry, Rafi. I have to agree.
No, that's okay. That's why you're here, my friend. That's why you're here to add your points of view. Now, what I will say is that yes, you do make a good point. You do make a good point. However, I say there is room within the contract for Anthony Joshua to make his own decisions. Just because he signed exclusively with a promoter, he still has maintained room to make his own decisions within that framework. So that's what I would say. So
I see him on another platform to get the big fights like Canelo does.
Yeah.
That's what I'd agree.
Well, Canelo might be the final big boss then. Canelo might be the final big boss. So what we're saying here, I think we're moving I think we're moving. Heyman put the block on it. Yeah, Heyman is Wilder's boss. It's very simple. As much as the fight doctor might wish to deny it, it's simple and plain.
I'm sorry, sir, but I've never denied that.
Okay, well that's good. Well, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. Fury was a cherry pick gone wrong. Well, the Rafi was the guy who coined that phrase, a cherry pick gone wrong, with regards to Deontay Wilder choosing Tyson Fury instead of closing down negotiations with Anthony Joshua. I predicted that would be a cherry pick gone wrong, and so it came to pass. Where are we now? Wilder has a boss. He dances to Finkel and Al's tunes. When Al Heyman, when Shelly Finkel pulls out that fiddle, and Al Heyman pulls out that mouth organ, and you know that Deontay Wilder.
Wilder starts twerking.
The Wilder's gonna, just kind of gently just hitch the jeans down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Hitch the jeans down a little bit, and
I have always said when they talk about this Al Heyman and they get their returns in the back end, I do think what Al Heyman is returning in their back end might not be what they're expecting.
Oh my gosh.
He does. It feels like he's got their pants down their ankles and got them bent over a table and he's just screwing them. It's like,
keep on talking about the back end business.
Yeah, this back end talk. What is he putting in their back end? It's not money in their bank.
Oh man, putting money in the piggy bank. Is it money in the piggy bank? Money in the back end? Good Lord. What else is there? So there's what else is there? Oh, there is. How long have we been going?
Say, Rafi, I gotta bounce.
Yeah.
Gotta take care of some business. So,
It's been fun as always, Fight Doctor.
Fun as always, Fight Doctor.
Yeah. Mr. Figures, Mr. Dawkins, the pleasure was all mine, and catch you guys on the next one.
Okay, the next one is Wednesday. We got Spencer Fearon coming up in the building on Wednesday. Show starts slightly earlier. I think around 8:45. We normally go live around 9:30. Normally go live around 9:30. We think we're going live around 8:45 on Wednesday with none other than the Knowledge, aka Spencer Fearon. So that's Wednesday, 8:45, right here on the RDCR. Never get over that twerking. Don ZB was over here with me. It was live.
That did hurt my eyes. It was so expertly done. I was like, that was like hours of practice.
Then we had a woman over here in the live at that time, and she said even she can't twerk like that. Even she can't move a booty like that.
I would have liked to have seen her try that. I would have liked to have been a judge of that. I would have got her on the live. Said, put the camera on, love.
Put the camera on. Put the camera on and get busy. Put the camera on and get busy. How long we've been live? Yeah, 1:59, coming up to the 2-hour mark. But you know what? I think we've done it, Leon Figures. I think we've done it. I think we got through it. We've given the people 2 hours. Hopefully they were well fed, and well entertained.
I definitely was. It's always we always struggle to get through all of your points. But
Sorry again. I
you
never
always struggle to get through all of your. You
always
know,
struggle. But before we go, we just got to touch on. Gorman versus Gorman versus what's his name?
fight.
Fabian Wardley. I think that's his name. Wardley. Wardley versus Gorman. Yeah. Wardley versus Gorman. That was a crazy. Was my S was we got to answer. We got a couple of things to do.
It was about changes to Dillian Whyte's style. Was there changes noted to Dillian Whyte's style under Buddy McGirt? I think that was.
No, we get to that in a second, but first we got to talk about Wardley because I almost forgot Wardley Gorman. What I'll say about that was that was one hell of an entertaining fight. I had given. Ward is Gorman is the some relation to Fury. Allegedly one of the best bare knuckle fighters ever was a Gorman. So Nathan Gorman comes from that Gorman lineage. But so I gave him credit. I think he was the favorite going into this one. But Fabian Wardley, he really showed something on Saturday night. He showed that he really, really can bang. I think it took Daniel Dubois 5 rounds to get rid of Nathan Gorman. Fabian Wardley
took less damage though, Dubois, didn't he?
Yeah, that's true. Took less damage. It's not a direct comparison. Nothing's direct. Nothing's a direct linear comparison, but still, he did it in 3. Doesn't mean he's better than Dubois. That's not what the suggestion is. But we're just saying that Wardley got him out of there in 3. And what I'm saying about that is impressive. Fabian Wardley is someone to watch. Wardley is someone to watch. Kid's got skills, 27 years old. He can bang. What's this here? When going, got tough, the bare knuckle. Yeah, he was literally crawling on his hands and knees. He was in there crawling on his hands and knees when he felt the power of when Wardley unleashed his power on him. So what am I saying? I'm saying Fabian Wardley is one to watch. He's one to watch. Leon Figures.
Yes, he is. I'm not seeing a future world champion, but I'm seeing a fun fighter. I'm seeing a fun fighter. I like the way he responds when he gets hurt. He seems like there's something about that Dillian Whyte fighters that he likes. There seems to be people that react a certain way. I don't think, when you look at Alan Babich, Fabian Wardley, Dillian Whyte, they don't seem to have fear. Like they
come to bang.
Yeah, and even when they take a knock in a fight, they react by throwing more punches. It's just there's just and it's a nice reaction. It makes it a fun fight to watch. And they all seem to have defensive issues. That mean they're very liable to get hurt, and that also that probably adds to why it's fun to watch. So I think there's an enjoyment to watch fighters that are, what's the boxing phrase, dogs in the ring, but with flaws, because you get the element of there's a chance for either opponent to hurt the other one. And it just makes good fights. You rarely see them in boring fights.
For real.
It's nice. It's a real cavalier style. It's like Dillian Whyte's like, okay, I think he picks fighters in his mold, in the sense
Yeah.
of not quite the polished guy, but I use heart, determination, and grit and grime to get through fights.
Yeah.
And I like my fighters to do the same. And you know, I quite like that.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
I don't need to spend years training to get to this level before I go in there. Like, no. I'm ready now. I'm going to learn as I go along. So that just going out there and going and doing this.
For real. And it's definitely a fan favorite. Well, it's definitely fan friendly. It's definitely fan friendly stuff. Fan friendly stuff. That was one hell of an exciting fight, as was Dillian Whyte's fight with Franklin. And that brings us on to the question posed in a super chat by Audi alias TT. Did we see some measure of development in the boxing IQ and technique of Dillian Whyte? Now he's teamed up with Buddy McGirt. Well, you have to remember Dillian was previously with Xavier Miller, a friend of the channel, and Harold Shadow Knight teamed up with them later on, his last couple of fights. So there's been no lack of technical expertise in Dillian's corner. And he continues that with Buddy McGirt. But he said something. He said that, you know, Buddy's been there at the top level. So maybe he feels that he needed somebody who had been at the top level that he could, and he'd feel more comfortable. He would feel that he could totally believe in somebody who had been at the top level as his head trainer. Maybe that's what he feels that he needed. Maybe that's what he feels that he needed to be a true believer, in his trainer. Maybe he feels that. I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. I'm not in his head, but maybe that's the possibility.
I do think his best fighting was with Mark Tibbs.
Well, there's that as well.
Progression.
There's that as well. But has Mark Tibbs ever been the top of the tree? I don't think Mark Tibbs is the top of the tree. His father.
No.
His father, maybe. His father, the elder Tibbs. He's been around. He's been inside. He's been literally been inside, outside. He spent some time inside and outside. And he's been around for how long? He's in his 70s now. But he left that setup looking for something new. So obviously he wasn't satisfied. He wasn't satisfied with that setup. So obviously he moved on. I think he's been accumulating knowledge as he goes along. But like I say, I mean, my final word on the thing is that maybe he feels that he is now with somebody who's at the top of the tree, somebody who's been to the mountaintop as a fighter and now as a trainer. And
improvements in his last fight.
And maybe he feels that now he can follow instructions to the T. I saw a more methodical Dillian Whyte. I saw a Dillian Whyte who appeared to be following instructions. But I don't think that Dillian Whyte is a novice in terms of his boxing knowledge anyway. But what I saw was a more methodical Dillian Whyte. That's what I saw. What's the question? Did we see some measure of development in his boxing IQ? Maybe it was a measure of development, or maybe he's just following instructions. Technique of Whyte. And furthermore, he said that Buddy McGirt isn't really about changing his style. He's about enhancing his style or utilizing his style properly and appropriately. So I don't know if he's acquired skills. Maybe he's just using what he's got in a more methodical manner. So that's my final word. Maybe Dillian Whyte is just using what he's got, using his already acquired abilities in a more methodical manner. And you see how things work out. and you see how things come full circle. You remember when I was talking about Prograis at the beginning of the show and saying that he was a bit herky-jerky, his style was herky-jerky. Well, maybe in Dillian Whyte is cutting off the uneconomical stuff, smoothing off the iron, smoothing off the burr, and just making his style more streamlined, more economical, more methodical. How you like that, Leon Figures? How you like that? How you like when things come full circle? When we join the ends, the loose ends.
It's always good. It's always good to have some circular symmetry.
Indeed, symmetry
with a wrap-up show.
With the original wrap-up show, no less.
The wrap-up,
wrap-up, tap-up.
Boxing discussions and more.
Oh, goodness me. That's really on the Wednesday. The Monday show is the original wrap-up show. The Wednesday show is typically the wrap-up, tap-up, wrap-up. Where we really go freestyle with the topics. I was gonna go a little bit freestyle with some of these topics, but we didn't have time. It's been such an action-packed weekend. We didn't have time to fit any extra stuff in on top of the boxing because boxing was sufficient. There was sufficient boxing stuff going on to keep the troops and ourselves entertained. And but yes, so your final words, Leon Figures, on that question posed by.
I'm not the best player because I only saw the last 4 rounds.
Yeah.
But from what I saw, I would have expected Dillian Whyte to have performed better against a 21-0 fighter from the States coming to the UK. So I can't say I saw some immediate progression. I mean, I was noticing the cross-arm defense to prevent the uppercut, but then I was seeing that in the second Povetkin fight.
Yeah.
It's
yes, agreed.
Yeah, maybe it's a bit too soon to see. But from the result, the product, only 12 rounds in a competitive close fight with Jermaine Franklin, you'd expected Dillian Whyte to have been levels above and to have performed a bit better, a bit more decisive victory that people wouldn't be able to say Franklin could have nudged it. But a great weekend of boxing overall. Lots of cards. Was there 3 cards, 2 in the UK, 1 in the US?
That's right.
Beautiful.
Great. Indeed.
Great Saturday.
Great Saturday of entertainment indeed. And Leon Figures, thank you very much for joining us. I hope you're around. I hope you're around on Wednesday to enjoy the fair. And
I'll be listening.
Absolutely. Feel free to get a question or two in. Likewise, everybody in the chat, feel free to get a question or two in the chat. And that was the Leon Figures. Thank you, Leon. And that was the Leon Figures. Much appreciation to him. Before that, we had the Iron Kong. Much appreciation to him. And likewise, much appreciation goes out to the Fight Doctor for jumping on also. And what we got here, looking forward to the top guest on Wednesday's show. Indeed, we got Spencer Fearon coming on Wednesday, a bit earlier than usual, 8:45 UK time. So get in and get your questions in. Who wins? Lennox Lewis versus Ike Abuchi. Lennox Lewis too long, too strong. Lennox Lewis under Emmanuel Stewart, stewardship, tutelage. Come on, it's gotta be Lennox. Yeah, only a few wild overhand swings by Dillian. Yeah, I had it. Dillian 2 rounds ahead. Azim versus Charlton. What was that? 2-3 rounds? Yeah. Azim took him out handily. Lewis all day long. All day long. Okay. We've gone into overtime. We've gone to overtime. And it's been a good one. Been highly entertaining. Thank you for everybody who came. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button. Here was hot from missing from training. Yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share on all social media platforms. And yes, it's approaching a few minutes from midnight. So all that's left for me to say is, it's the Raphael Dawkins, the Combat Radio. It's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comments, it's the shares. And it is the hitting the bell icon. Stay updated with news and notifications. Don't forget about the live show. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. And don't forget Spencer Theron joining us live this Wednesday, 8:45 UK time. What's left for me to say is blessed.